Welcome back, and we're still focusing on leadership and how to get it right, and the political capital has a lot to do about that. Mark?
Thank you so much, Chamberlain. I do have with me in the studio Mr. Rabiu, who is the chairman IRS Group and also a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, he was just referring, my colleague Chamberlain has a way of referring to the Federal Capital Territory as a seat of the country's leadership, and that's exactly what it is.
Right.
But you know, when you ask the average Nigerian, what is the problem of Nigeria, they will tell you leadership. Do you agree with them?
To a large extent, I agree with them. But if you look at it from another perspective, Nigerians themselves have a very big role to play, because we elect this leadership into this position. We expect them to give back to us, because their primary objective or purpose is to go into government to serve and not to be served, to give and not to take. But the situation is different. But this is something that has been a long time coming. We had no other choice but to be in the situation we are today. If you look at the McKinsey Global Institute report on Nigeria, you would see the vast opportunity that Nigeria has. We have the opportunity of taking our GDP to $1.6 trillion by the year 2030. And when the Nigeria was rebased, when the Nigerian economy was rebased about 2-3 years back, it was valued at $510 billion, compared to South Africa at $354 billion. We had 80% of that was coming from oil and gas. Today, more than 40% of Nigerians are living below poverty lines. And this is something that had to happen because we were not productive. In the olden days, somebody spoke about the founding fathers, our heroes, our mentors, our role models, that founded Nigeria on a very sound footing. And everything flowed naturally. But after the military coup, things went off the right path. And today we are where we are. And leadership recruitment process is very important, because it just doesn't start at the top. It starts from the family value. Today, the kind of things that are happening in Nigeria are despicable. You see parents and children engaged in fraudulent acts. Now, how would you expect that parent to expect good values from their children? Therefore, I think we have a lot to do. The slogan of change begins with me is important, because the president led that. At least from his own perspective, he has been able to demonstrate that. Since he left office, he's been able to live a life that is a life of humility, a life of that he could afford. He had children too, he had obligations, but he was able to manage his life within the income that he had. And this is what we should be doing. Nigeria has changed so much. People are thinking now on how do I survive? How do I feed my family? How do I pay for school fees? How do I manage this generator in my house that I have to keep buying diesel for every day? And Nigerians are very intelligent. They have now gone back to the era of looking for alternatives. They say necessity is the mother of invention. Now, inverter is a very big business, because from the little power you get from the public service, you're able to store some energy and manage electricity supply. Where you cannot afford air conditioners, you buy fans. So these are things that are changing, and they are good for us. This recession, 2 successive contraction in 2 quarters, is good for us, because we are looking at different ways of surviving. We are looking at diversifying the economy. 80%, like I said, came from oil and gas. We have agriculture, we have construction, we have infrastructure, we have so many sectors. Small-scale industry, small and medium-scale industry is the biggest opportunity for us to grow our economy. And by the grace of God, if the programs being meted out by government now are being implemented, then there is that opportunity for us to hit that $1.6 trillion by 2030. And Nigeria deserves that, because we are the biggest country in Africa, biggest black nation in the world. We have intelligent people. Go to Nigeria, everywhere you see doctors, you see scientists, you see physicians. why not back here?
You know, you've touched on a number of things almost all at once. When we started the show, we talked about a young man, Emeka Nelson, who, you know, has done some innovation. He's trying to be innovative with, you know, with his mind, as it were, and he's invented something that can turn waste into fuel. Just in that moment, we also got in touch with a man who, you know, was making mini aeroplanes, as it were, who said that the Ministry of Science and Technology had reached him, but that nothing had come out of it. In his own state as well, there's almost nothing happening in that instance, you know. And then here you also talk about how government needs to encourage business. But then, you know, you also have to ask, what exactly has been the role of business leaders? Do you think that there's also a role for them?
That's a big role for them. For this particular example you made, I think the state governor himself should be proud of such individuals and should coordinate it with the necessary ministry to ensure that these people are given opportunity to do the right thing. We are very intelligent people. But when you have leaders that are always looking inwards, that are looking at what is in it.
Mr. Rabiu, I'm afraid I'll have to take a moment. Now we'll come back and we'll continue on that line of thought.
Okay.
Sunrise Daily will continue in just a moment. Do join us again.